Hey guys, this is Mishal and you're watching Q&A with Mishal, episode number 13. Now guys, I don't know the question. We're probably going to find out as we go. Let's not waste that time. Let's jump right into it. Rahi, what's my question number one?
So the first question is, how can we build a culture where employees are more engaged and have pro-company attitude?
So this is what we need to understand, right? It doesn't matter if you're in sales, you are in real estate, you are in insurance business or automotive, right? You are in the business of people, right? People do not care that your next goal is to make $1 billion in sales. They don't really care that you are coming up with the cure of cancer. You're trying to come up with a vaccine for coronavirus, right? People, what really makes people happy? You need to understand that first, right? Now, money is important and a lot of people value money, but have you ever heard the stories where people actually walked away from their high-paying jobs to start their own business? I was one of them, right? People leave enormous amount of money on the table only because they think that they're not progressing in their career. They're not happy. I wasn't 120% happy, so I left from my high-paying job. So the employer sort of needs to understand that people do not care. They do not have the same passion for your business, okay? The moment they think that they're not moving ahead in their life financially, they're not taking their personal goal and they're not taking off their career goals, right? They're eventually going to live. They're not going to be engaged. They're only going to use your company for more money. That's it, right? Also, people basically want to follow people who have some sort of a moral authority. What do I mean by that? If you do not have the integrity, okay, people are eventually going to sort of tune out, right? Obviously, as a business owner, you are always putting your vision and the mission in your environment, so people are sort of engaged. But when you want to create a culture where everyone's sort of involved, everyone is engaged, it is all about people. I had a team from sort of 3 people to 20 people and 50 people. I always sort of make sure that I have the one-on-one with my guys on a weekly basis. And every time I'm doing the one-on-one, it is all about them. I'm always sort of trying to find out what are the personal goals, what are they trying to achieve out of this job, right? I always put it out in my environment that we are not trying to work extremely hard just to make a living, okay? We hustle, we work excruciating hours because of our lifestyle, right? So every time I'm doing the one-on-one with my guys, it's always about them. We are not even talking about the performance that they achieved and they hit this month or the last week. What are they trying to get out of this job? Okay, what are their personal goals? What kind of car they want to drive? Okay, how much money they want to make, right? What kind of house they want to live in 5, 10, 15 years down the track. Now, when they see that as an owner of the business, you are interested in their dreams, their aspiration, this is where you are going to get the engagement and 120% commitment from your team members. And once you find out their individual goals, things that they are trying to achieve for themselves and their family members, then you tie your business goals around their personal goal. You gotta give them some kind of a structure and you tell them, guys, the only way you are going to sort of buy that car, the only way you're going to have that kind of a lifestyle if you do good work. If you keep on producing average work, okay, we're going to be wiped out from this market. Right? And to produce really quality work, we gotta work over the week and we gotta have to put in about 12 to 13 hours a day, right? And now people are interested because now they know, they have an understanding that you are interested in their goals. It's not about you getting the $1 billion in sales revenue. It's not about that you are trying to put man on the moon. It's not about your goals and aspiration. Right? First, you need to find out what they want, what they're trying to get out of this job, and then you wrap your business goals around their personal goal.
So the second question is, how can you be more productive with your time and energy when you are a solo entrepreneur?
So this is, again, this is a very good question, right? Now understand this. Okay, if you are sole entrepreneur, you're a freelancer, you're in some sort of a service industry, or you are a one-man band, right? Your relationship with your business is going to fluctuate. Some of the days you're absolutely in love with your business. You love the hustle, you love the grind. Every time you are doing your services and you are offering your services and you're putting your products out there, you're gonna feel ecstatic, right? But then there's gonna be some of the times where really nothing is really happening. Okay, you're not getting the new contracts, you're not getting things done, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, right? Because you're a solo entrepreneur. When you're a freelance, you do not have one job that you absolutely love. Okay, you literally have 5 other different jobs that you don't love, but you have to do, right? Because you're a one-man army. Right? So sometimes you're gonna feel depressed because nothing is coming, right? You're gonna feel that is nothing is really happening, nobody really knows your name, and that is depressing, right? You literally have created 5 different jobs for your business, and sometimes when you are actually delivering your products and services, right, you're feeling really high on your passion. Right? So how do we sort of manage that, right? This is what I really want you to do, right? For the first few years at least, do not wrap your ego around the new contracts. Do not wrap your ego around how many sales that you are making on a regular basis, okay? It's gonna happen if you're gonna keep putting in the work, if you are focused on money producing activities, things gonna happen. Okay, so instead of wrapping your ego around how many contracts you are getting, you need to understand that you have some sort of a structure around things that really matters. Now, number one, because this is what's going to happen when you start something yourself and you are the only person, you're the first line of defense and you are the last line of defense. What's going to happen is it's going to affect your health physically and mentally. Right? Understand that you can have massive goals and massive aspirations and really want to, you really want to be at a certain stage by this time. But if you haven't got the health, okay, if you haven't got the vitality and the energy to go after those goals and the tasks, like your life is dependent on it, you are never ever going to get there. If you haven't got the energy, it is going to affect your motivation. It is going to affect your willpower. Right? So have some really good habits around health, right? And then not only talking about the physical health, I'm also sort of talking about the mental health, okay? If the new information is not going inside your head, if you are not exposing yourself with a different mindset and different way of sort of doing things, what's going to happen? You're always going to see the temporary problems as something really big, right? So keep reading those books, okay? Listen to the podcast and keep exposing yourself to the new mindset, new way of doing things. The second thing that you have to be really careful, okay? Now understand this, 90% of the new businesses fail in the first 18 months. And the businesses fail not because they don't know what they're doing, okay? The entrepreneur is not passionate about the vision and the mission. The reason people fail, the reason businesses fail at an overwhelming rate because of the obscurity. Okay, if people do not know about you, they cannot do business with you. When you are new, okay, when you are fresh and you've just started your business for 12 months ago or 18 months ago or 2 years ago, right? One of the most important things that you can invest your time in is marketing and branding. Okay, networking events. Okay, so allocate some of the time. I'm talking about 2 hours or 3 hours in a day just creating the content. Now understand this, okay? It doesn't matter you are 20, 25 or you are 50. Understand and respect this, that not a lot of people actually understand that in India alone we have 235 million people on Facebook. Okay, and then the Instagram is a different platform altogether. We have all your clients are spending obnoxious amount of time on the social media platforms. So you need to adapt and start creating the content for those audience. Okay, what got you here at this point is sure as hell is not going to take you where you really want to go. This is what I'm talking about every time I say that new way of doing things. Okay, so spend some time on just doing the marketing, making those calls, making appointments with your niche targeted audience. Okay, go to the networking events, whatever that really works with you, or whatever that fits with your business structure. Okay, have really good solid habits around your health and your physical health and your mental health. At the same time, make sure that you're spending 80% of your time on dollar producing activity, money producing activity. If your emotions sort of fluctuates based on the contracts you are getting, you're always going to be scared. You're always going to be overwhelmed. Okay, you may be getting sort of new contract right now, but you're always going to be spread. Okay, what's going to happen the next month and the month after, right? So you try and control the only controllable aspect of your business. You have total control over the marketing. Okay, you can start making the video. You have total control of the creative process of creating the content. You have total control over how many calls you are going to make, how many people you are going to speak to, right? As long as you are taking those things off your list, okay, you're gonna feel happy. Your ego, your self-identity is not wrapped around how much money you're going to make in the first 18 months, right? So that's my answer.
So third question is, what are the 3 major breakthrough moments in your life? And how did they shape you into the person you are today?
So here's the thing, right? The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your choices that you are making, right? For me, I've thought about this question so many times, right? And I wouldn't be the person I am today if I wouldn't have made the choices that I made, right? Now, the first choice that literally transformed, that exposed me to a different world altogether is when I graduated from the high school and I made a decision to go to a college. When I was in high school and when I was in school, right, I was this very entitled kid, right? I was a very cocky kid around my friends. But then the moment I stepped into college, it was a completely different world, right? The moment I stepped into college, I realized, okay, I do not have this many talents and everyone around me are more talented than I ever was. So I basically just gone into my cocoon, into my shell, and I kept my mouth shut. But I realized, okay, Mishal, you're gonna have to work extremely hard to get at that level, right? Then I really got into this personal development side of things, because I knew that if I ever want to do anything in the world of business, or even if, forget about the world of business, but if I want to achieve anything substantial in my life, I'm gonna have to start working on myself, right? That was the first time I ever picked up a book, personal development book, right? So that had my college, 4 years of college, had major impact on my outlook. Number 2 is the moment I made a decision that I want to move out of my country to pursue my master's degree in accounting. When I moved to Australia, that was the time I learned about work ethics. That was the time I learned about that, okay, you can actually do something with your life, okay, if you're gonna put in the work, if you're gonna work extremely hard, and if you're gonna be the hardest worker in the room, there is a really good life waiting for you, right? And again, that gave me an amazing opportunity to work with people with different ethnicity, right? And the last one is the job I did for about 8 years. Almost 8 years. I stayed with this company for about 7.5 years, almost 8 years. The company's name is Australian Property Advisory Service, and I've said it so many times on the camera that we were doing investment property for a living. Now, that job helped me a lot. Helped me maintain a sort of really good lifestyle when I was in Australia. It helped me sort of pay off my education loan, and I've done a lot of things, right? But what it really did was something really happened in 2011 and 12 in Australia. There were just major floods, and we were literally, and then overnight nobody wanted to talk about investment property. That was the time my company decided to promote me as a regional marketing manager with no resources at all. Okay, from 250 people in the marketing, we are now into this sort of small, not even a building, but small area. When there was this marketing, and then there was marketing department, and we had about sort of 7 people, and then we had accounting, we have sales team, everyone in this crammed into one floor, right? And then we all had about sort of 8 weeks to sort of prove ourselves, otherwise we were out of business. No one was going to have a job in 2 months down the track. But then sort of 6 people in the marketing, we grew the business again from where we had about 70-80 people in the marketing. And then again, we started the business in Sydney and Melbourne. That gave me immense confidence that you can still build something. Okay, you can still build monster of a business. It doesn't matter where you start if you put in the work. Okay, it gave me a lot of confidence to start my own business in 2017. It gave me an opportunity to develop my leadership skills. So all these breakthroughs were extremely pivotal in my career and and basically transformed me into the person I am today.
So the last one is 3 books that you can recommend that have helped you immensely throughout these years.
So as I've told you in the last question, that I first got into reading the books when I was in college, and the reason I got into reading books, even though I was a terrible reader, right? It would literally take me about 20 minutes to read 2 pages, right? And I might be understating this, right? So I was extremely slow reader, but the reason I really got into reading the books, because it really saved my ass in the college, because it was a completely different environment for me. Okay, I was feeling inferior all the time, so I was going through a lot of internal struggle. I was looking for a lot of answer, and I did not have a mentor or someone I can go to help me out with my problems, right? So I leaned to books, right? And as I said, I was extremely slow reader, but the first book that was being recommended to me by my friend was The Alchemist, and it was a great book, right? But this line, this idea, and I still vividly remember from the book, that if you really want something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve that, right? And I hung up on that. I really held on to that quote, right? So then I got into setting the goals, setting the intentions, and putting the things out in the universe, right? The second book that I would like to recommend is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It is one of the greatest wealth creation book that's ever been written, right? And it has sold more than 100 million copies around the world, okay? And this book was sort of written in 1929, and there were so many other books written on the back of the whole idea about Think and Grow Rich. So if you haven't read this book, like, find that book, okay, whatever the language that you understand, and it is translated into more than 40,000 languages, okay? It's not going to be a really difficult job to find that book. It's widely popular. And the last one is Relentless by Tim Grover. Okay, so let me put it this way so you understand this, right? If you are going to read one book in your entire lifetime, let that be The Relentless. It's really good. It's gonna keep your heart going. It's gonna get you excited, and it has got some really good principles about the work ethics. Okay, so yeah, and again, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm just gonna give you the bonus. I'm just gonna throw it out. The fourth one is Good to Great by Jim Collins. Okay, if you are a top executive, if you're a leader of the business, or if you just started the business, or you are in the process of building teams, okay, read this book, right? Read this book. It's an amazing, they've got amazing insights around leadership, right? One of the main premise of that book is the job of an entrepreneur is to get the right people in the bus, and then you got to put them in the right seat, okay? They've got some really great insights around building businesses and building your team, and concepts around leadership. So yeah, these are 4 books that can have a massive impact in your life. That's the wrap, guys. This was again Q&A with Mishal, episode number 13. Now, guys, these are your questions and I'm answering them. If you want me to answer any of your questions in regards to leadership, how to build a winning team, how to get the best out of your people, how to get the best out of yourself, please do not forget to put your questions at the bottom in the comment section, and I'm going to try and answer them in the next episode. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time.